One thing that weirds me about America, well, there's a lot of things, right? The obesity, huge portion sizes. Why the heck do bathroom stalls have like that huge gap, right? That's only in America, right? Why, like I can see people pooping or vice versa, right? It's so weird. But the weirdest thing of all, I would say, in America is like virtue signaling, right? The Protestant work ethic and virtue signaling. So the Protestant work ethic is like Protestants, they were already predetermined, right? It's predestination. It's called, I think that's Calvinism. I could be wrong. Calvinism or Quakers or something. You were already predetermined to go to heaven or go to hell, right? It didn't matter what you did, right? But why did people work hard regardless, right? It's because that was the sign of you going to heaven or hell, right? So that's really like the cultural essence of virtue signaling, right? You appear to be good, right? You appear virtuous, right? Even though you're not actually virtuous. So there's a whole like a plague, right? An absolute pestilence or pestiferance of virtue signaling, right? Appearing good without actually being good, right? And that's why people hate it, right? Because it's fake, it's inauthentic, right? It's hypocrisy, right? People hate hypocrites because, right? You call other people out, right? But look at yourself. That's why hypocrisy is like one of the worst forms of cognitive dissonance. So this whole like wokeism, right? Wokeism, identity politics really has its roots in that Protestant work ethic, right? That virtue signaling. It has its roots in that sort of like appearing good, right? Without actually being good. This isn't an American thing, by the way. It's as old as time, basically, right? There's been mythology written about uh, being good versus appearing good, right? Things like the Bible talk about the book of Job, um, or Bhagavad Gita, right? You are entitled to your labor, but not the fruits of your labor, right? So there's always been a distinction between being good and appearing good. But this is only its most recent manifestation, right? In American, like wokeism. There is a genuine discussion to be had about diversity, equity, inclusion, representation. There's a genuine discussion uh, to represent minority groups, right? People who aren't as commonly represented, right? There is a genuine discussion. However, most of it is plagued, right? Most of that discussion is plagued, right? Just it's like a poison field. It's plagued with inauthentic, right? People who aren't genuine, right? People who have agendas, right? Ulterior motives. I wish I could have a genuine, person to person, heart to heart, discussion about representation, inclusion, diversity, without the agenda, right? Without the ulterior motives. That's very difficult in this day and age. This is symptomatic of American society as a whole, right? You appear good without actually being good, right? You say things, you say that you're doing it for the right reason, right? But are you actually, right? I mean, it's propaganda 101, right? We say we invade a country, right? America invades a country. America takes over the economic systems, right? And we say it's for democracy, right? For liberty or something, right? But is it really, right? People can tell if you're BSing. As I said, this isn't an American thing, right? This has been a thing since forever. It's just America's the current superpower, which is why I'm talking about America. I think thing that weirded me out the most about America really is charity. That's a really big um, enigma for a lot of people. That's because, for example, people run marathons for to cure cancer, or to raise funds for homeless people or children or animals, right? But when you really think about it, it doesn't make any sense, right? Why would you run for charity when you could just donate the money directly, right? You don't have to run, you can just donate it directly, right? That would be much more efficient, right? That'd be much more effective, right? So this whole notion of like charity is, look, it's not a bad thing, right? I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but there's too many people uh, using it as a get out of jail free card, right? Just because you donated to children, or just because you donated to animals or poor people, or just because, right? That doesn't excuse like doing, no, that doesn't excuse the taking advantage of other people, right? That doesn't excuse your actions, right? Just because you did one good thing doesn't mean you can then do one bad thing, right? That's not how this works, right? A lot of people, influencers, CEOs, politicians, presidents, bankers, right? A lot of people use it as an excuse, right? A lot of people use it as an excuse to get out of jail free, as a get out of jail free card. That's why people are kind of getting sick and tired, right? People are getting sick and tired of this inauthentic, right? These people who have agendas, right? People who want to sell you something. People are getting sick and tired of all this propaganda, this advertisement, propaganda, marketing. That's what I wanted to talk about today. The weirdness about America, charities, wokeism, Protestant work ethic, ulterior motives, this whole confluence of ideas, right? Which is, if I were to put it into one word, yeah, I would say virtue signaling is probably the best word to describe everything that's happening, everything, or inauthenticity, right? Not being genuine. That's why people, that's why podcasts and things like that are becoming more popular because it's much more genuine, right? Is it still genuine? Not necessarily, but it's much more genuine than mainstream media.